Before you start overcoming objections, I want you to start avoiding them. Avoid them. Avoid them like the plague, okay? Avoid them like, everybody was avoiding each other with the COVID when it first came out. And then some of us were like, oh man, I don't care about this. This can't be real. Hey, but I want you to avoid them, okay? I want you to avoid the objections. I'm gonna give you some examples on how to avoid them, but do you know how many salespeople, Sal, I see, they walk right into the same objection every single time? Every single time. Okay, y'all remember when Chris Rock Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock? Y'all remember that? He walked up and slapped the taste out of that boy's mouth. He got up on stage and he walked right across in front of all of his peers. That was like an Evan thing to do to me, okay? I don't know why he did that. That seemed a little extreme, but that's kind of like some of you guys, okay? You're getting hit with the customers. They're slapping the taste out of your mouth every single time with the same objection, and you can't handle it, so you just stand there on stage looking stupid every day. Every day. Okay, so today we're not going to look stupid. We're going to start to handle these, and we're going to start to make it super easy, so that way in your mind you know how to get past that. You know how to overcome that. But we got to start avoiding that. Now let me ask you guys a question. If Chris Rock walked up on stage to the next Emmy Awards and Will Smith was there, and Will Smith went to smack him, do you think he put his hands up? Do you think he might slap him back? Do you think there might be a little bit of a tussle? Okay. So guys, write down your 5 objections right now that you get every single day. All right, this is the coolest thing about learning. Learning, this is what defines learning. The person that can take an action based on information that they hear and do a new action. That's learning. You learn something new, you take a new action. You learn something new, you take a new action. On the next step of learning is intelligence. I might not have got the best grades in like high school because I wasn't interested in that shit and a lot of those things. But when somebody taught me something in sales, which I was interested in, or life, my ability to take action, that's the intelligence. The fast action from here to here. Like if you hear something today and you change and do it and it's uncomfortable and you start going after it, well, that means you're intelligent, okay? All right, so Austin Hewlett said no naked people on this call. That means we like to have each other's faces on the call. So if you're a little naked on our call, we just start to mess with you. We start to send you messages, because we like to see each other's smiling faces like Nadine in Germany. Okay, she's in Germany right now. It's probably, I don't know what they're doing down there, but she's fired up, ready to win. All right, so avoidance. I want you guys to write down avoidance. I'm going to give you a car sales example. Now, take this example and make it your own. Make it your own. All right, do you know how many people, what was that? Is that somebody
Yeah,
huh?
Someone purchased the paid.
Oh, that was crazy. I don't know what just happened there. All right, anyways, maybe y'all didn't hear that. It was crazy. It was like somebody's doing some, what is that, sound effects on my Zoom call. I'm like, whoa, bro, that was sick. Did Jonan learn something new? Jonan's like, that wasn't me. I was like, yeah, you didn't learn nothing new, damn it, Jonan. All right, Jonan's right here, guys. He's always with me. You guys know Jonan. You guys know Enrique.
Sir, baby.
They run all the behind the scenes of the school and social media and all that stuff. These little kids are 18 years old, man, and they are killers, man, killers. All right, so avoidance. Let me teach this. When a car salesman greets a customer, and this is what typically happens. They say, hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. They go through the meet and greet. They go through the fact find and that sort of thing. Part of the fact find should be this. Hey guys, it's the Macklin Twins. Thank you for watching. If you need anything at all, go ahead and reach out to us, 480-780-2203. Just send us a text with what you need and we got your back. And in the description, you have a free vault of personal development, sales training, and mindset training. You can join us. It's free mentorship. Click the link. Let's go. We'll see you on the other side. Hey, Greg, great to get to know you. I see your ring on your finger. It looks like you're married. Is that right? Greg says yes. I'm like, oh, that's amazing, man. So you have a wife. Now, you might have a toaster. I don't know. But I'm going to say, so typically, do you and your partner make the decision together? Do you guys typically make the decision together on purchasing a car? Or is it typically she sends you down to do this? How many cars have you guys bought? And then he's like 7, man. My wife hates to come down to dealers. She don't like you guys. How many times do we hear that, Greg? A lot. Because car salespeople suck. Okay? Most of them. Not the Gregs on this call, Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I can avoid the objection of getting to the end of the deal, and then he's like, I got to talk to my wife. Bro, I already know he needs to talk to his wife. So as a salesperson, I can say, hey, on the test drive, hey, Greg, how far do you live from here? How far do you live from here? He's like, I live 3 minutes away. I'm like, hey, do you think it would be cool if we swung by just so your wife on the test drive could see the car? Do you think? He's like, I didn't think of that. I'm like, I know. That's cool, man. Let's drive by. Listen, we'll wave to her. We won't put no pressure on her. That way she can stay handling the kids, do whatever she has to do, but then she can see the color. You said that the color was important to her, that the budget was important to her. We'll solve all of that, but let's at least make sure she can see the car. Or should we FaceTime her so that way she can see the car? How can we make her feel included? How can we make her feel included? And then he's like, well, yeah, she would love for us to pass by. Actually, she's going to be at work. It's like 10 miles away. Hey, no worries, bro. Listen, I'll take all day to do this with you guys. We can pass by her work and show it to them. All right, guys, listen. Did I just avoid the wife objection at the end of the deal? Yeah, because I now know his wife. I've now met his wife. I now can include his wife in my process. All right, business to business. Some of you get on with a VP or a C-level executive, and they're not even the decision maker, and you're like, you get to the end of the presentation, and you're like, all right, man, let's do the deal. And they're like, dude, I got to talk to my business partner. And you're like, yeah, but like, wouldn't you want to make the deal for them and have the courage and all this shit? And they're like, no, I'd much rather stay in business. And you're like, why? Why does this always happen? Because you're just getting pimp smacked. You got to listen, people. This is what you need to do. When I start a presentation on a demo, I sell business to business to dealers and companies. I say, hey, Melanie, great meeting you. As we get this demo going, let me set the expectations on who I am, what we do as a company, and if we can even help you. Some companies we can't help, but we can make referrals and recommendations because we have a very big network. So we might not work for you. We'll determine that on this call. Is that fair? I disarm them. I disqualify prospects too, just so you know. I straight tell them, hey, we might not work for you, and if we do, it's like a doctor. You don't go into a doctor and they're like, we'll take everybody. Doesn't matter if we're a hip specialist. We're gonna take the eyes. We're gonna help everyone. No, dude, Melanie's like an eye doctor. She's not like, hey, I can fix your knees. She's like, hey, let me figure out if I can determine if I can fix your eyes, and then we can go from there. Does that make sense? And then he says yes. And then I'm like, great. At your business, Melanie, who is the person that makes the decisions with you? Is it a team? Is it a leadership team? Or is it just you? A lot of owners, they'll say, it's just me, man. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I do my demo, I do my whole discovery, which in part of objection handling is knowing your sales process. And then at the end of it, he goes, man, you know, I got to talk to a couple of my business partners. That means he's not sold, because I asked him up front what the real deal was while his guard was down, and he told me the truth. And then I got to the end of the presentation, something could be wrong. Does that make sense, guys? And then that's where I would go into this, okay? We're going to handle word tracks. There are word tracks, okay? But we're also going to handle a formula. So number one, be comfortable. Be comfortable. The top salespeople, dude, they don't look scared. They don't look nervous. They don't look like they need the sale. Some of you, your number one problem is that you look like you need the sale every time, and they sense the desperation. They sense that you need to pay your bills. They feel it. They're like, oh shit, she's eating top ramen. You know, she needs to sell, okay? Top salespeople, they have like this internal enthusiasm that boils hot, but it's not too heavy where it's boiling over. So you got to have that too. You got to have a great mindset where you're like, hey, if this works, cool. Like you're cool. You're cool as the other side of the pillow. You're ready to go. You know, you turn that other side of the pillow over, you're like, ah, yeah. Okay? It's like that, man. It's like that. You're like, ah, this is cool. No big deal. All right? So number one, you got to be comfortable. The biggest mistake that salespeople make is they lose their state and they're not comfortable with an objection. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to handle the objections. I'm going to teach you a formula, but I got to teach you the mindset first, and I got to teach you how to avoid them. Okay, so this is super important. Probably the best sales training I'm ever going to put on, because if you can actually understand what I'm saying, it'll change your sales game. Number two, you need to pause. If they object, I don't want you to strike back like a venom, like a viper, like ka-ka-ka. Ian taught me this, ka-ka-ka. No, man, listen, okay? People hate that shit, all right? No, just pause, okay? You know, number two, slow your pace. Three, slow your pace. So two, we said pause, just pause. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. Your mind should be thinking it's no big deal. In any sales scenario, you're gonna have multiple objections, I assure you. Like, you will get objections. Relationships kill a lot of objections, but you're gonna have objections. Your ability to be cool under pressure It's like Navy SEALs when they go into the room. You know why they're the best? When they go in the room, they're taught under pressure how to just go in there and just move through a room. Pow, pow. They're killing everybody, right? And then you get a guy that doesn't know how to shoot a gun. He walks in and somebody shoots a gun and he shoots 5 civilians. Why? Because he's just cool under pressure, man. He's like, oh, no big deal. Here, I know exactly what my mission is. I know exactly what my mission is. Okay? So we got number 3, slow your pace. Number 4, clarify. Let me give you an example. All right, so I'm sitting with the customer, Greg, and we'll use the card lot because that was my niche. I teach all different types of sales, but I'm going to go back to my roots real quick. All right, so in car sales, Junior, we'd be sitting down, and right now Greg's objection that his sales team is going to get every day is the interest rate, and it's actually not even an objection. It's a real problem. Like it's a real mental problem. If I bought a new car and my interest rate on the car I was trading in was 2.74 something on this Denali, and I bought this Escalade, right? And dude, the interest rate was 9%. And I'm thinking I'm like, oh shit, man. I'm just looking at it and that's a barrier for me. I'm like, damn, man, should I just do this? Should I pay cash? Should I wasn't thinking about that. I didn't really want this car. My wife wanted it. I'm thinking about all this stuff, right? Here's what you have to do. Here's what you have to teach your salespeople. Here's what they have to do. All right, Greg, listen, you like the car. Does the car work? Yeah. Okay, I could see how much you like the car. I could see how happy you were. I could see when you're driving down the road. I could reinforce it, right? I could see when you're driving down the road, man, you were honking at people. You're having a good time, man. I know that it fit everything that you needed, and I know that your wife, Sally, wanted it to do this and this and this, and when we stopped at her house, I could see that she loved it too, right? Okay, now I can see that the price works because we've already negotiated that, and so that works for you. Is that right? I'm clarifying the foursquare. I'm clarifying the things that they're saying. I'm like, that works for you, right? Yes. That works for you. Yes. That works for you. Yes. Okay, Greg. So the only thing that you're saying from helping you to, take this car home tonight is the only thing that's stopping you is the interest rate. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. I can handle that. So I'm going to say, Greg, now I can handle it with a word track. Does that make sense? And here's a simple word track, and it's more of coaching. I want you guys to write down coaching. Your goal isn't to talk to these people like, all right, there's this word called ACV in car sales, and it means actual cash value of your car. A manager goes out and appraises your car, and then we do that. Dumbass salespeople go to the customer, they're like, we're going to go take ACV of your car, and they walk like this. They're like, we're going to go take ACV. They're like, what does that mean? Stop talking like a doctor to these customers, okay? We got a doctor on the call, but she might have to talk to him like a doctor. But honestly, when I'm at a doctor's office the other day, I'm getting my tooth pulled, and I literally had a doctor's experience now that we got a doctor on the call. And I'm sitting there, and I'm at this, our family dentistry is right here. And I actually really don't like this place because they don't communicate that well. And I've felt that for a while. My team likes them. I don't really like them. And she's telling me all this crazy stuff, dude. I'm so confused. She's talking to me in doctor language. She's telling me the ACV of all of this stuff. And then I'm like, hey man, I just got to get a second opinion. They're like, all right, no problem, let me go. I go down the street 2 days later, my wife schedules one at her teeth place. And the guy's like, hey Ian, you just need to do this. It's one simple thing. It's going to lead you to this step. They were right in what they said. They just didn't know how to communicate to you. I'm like, I know. I know, man. And he's like, hey, listen, I got your back. Don't worry about it. You're going to start here with this one tooth. You're going to start doing this, and then it's going to help you. This is totally good. And I'm like, wow, that makes a whole lot of sense. And I'm like, and my objection was I've had my jaw broken and I didn't want somebody going inside of my mouth and all this shit, and I'm literally nervous. I started telling the guy my real objections. I'm like, but I'm fucking nervous. It's not about this. He's like, Ian, come here. I got you. Hey, so you're saying that the procedure works for you and everything like that. You're just a little nervous on how this is going to feel. All right. Then he gives me a case study. He gives me a couple other people, and he's like, listen, dude, you can even call these people. This is super, super simple. It's not going to hurt. That's old medicine. This is new medicine. You haven't been here in how long? I'm like, 10 years. He's like, dude, that 10 years, how long have you opened your business? I was like, 4. He's like, is it anywhere close to the same? I'm like, no. He draws a parallel. He paints a picture. He tells a story, but he's not talking to me about something that doesn't matter. He clarified my objection, okay? All right. Clarify was number 4. This is a mindset. We're going to handle objections, but you have to have the mindset, okay? All right, so number 4, clarify. Number 5, you got to dig. You got to dig. Once your prospect clarifies, you need to start digging. Use spontaneous questions to understand their state of mind and what's really behind their objection. Like literally, if they object to something, Greg, you said that the interest rate is a little much for you. I get it, man. I'm not like, I totally understand. And then I go into the whole objection. I'm like, bro, I get it, man. A lot of customers feel the exact same way as you. Feel, felt, found. Write that down. Feel, I feel you. Here, I felt the same pressure as you, man. I just bought a car. It wasn't the interest rate that I wanted. Honestly, I would tell them that. I would say, dude, I feel you. I felt the same way when I just did the same thing. But here's what we found. Listen, interest rates have changed over the years a lot. The car price right now for the average consumer is the lowest that it's been in 3 years. That's facts. It's the lowest it's been in 3 years. Your trade value is still up. Best it's been in 3 years. Interest rate's a little bit higher. So if you just took the interest rate out of the equation and we looked at the two components of the deal, which also matter inside of a deal, well, then you're actually getting the best deal of the century. Now, when rates come down, you'll be able to refinance this car, and then now you've won the deal in every area. But you can't refinance a payoff, Mr. Customer. You can't refinance a payoff, and right now your payoff is the lowest that it could ever be. So I'm glad that you brought that up. I understand where you're coming from. Let's go ahead and move forward so that you can get the best deal for you and your family. And then we close up. Like, it's not that hard. It's not high pressure. It's not, I'm giving him true facts of the market. I'm giving him true understanding. I'm giving him true coaching. I'm not like, Greg, the buy rate of the interest rates, finance says it's 2%. They gave me the buy rate at 9.7. Do you want to see our rate sheet? They don't give a shit about your rate sheet, Greg. They don't care. You know how many managers I see give the salesperson their rate sheet? I'm like, oh, you're going to give them something from the bank that just solidifies what they already know. They want to know from you, man, is it the truth? But also, are all the other pieces of the deal critical to it as well? Yes, and that's what we're helping you out with today, Mr. Customer. Congratulations. All right, number 6, we talked about it, but it's isolate. I isolated his objection. I isolated it, and then that way I could move through it. Now listen, some of this sounds like ninja witchcraft to you guys, but to me it happens. Did you see how I did all of these steps just naturally with Greg? You see how they just flowed? That's because I've done it for 15 years. So I've naturally isolated it, which is number 6. Number 7 is get everything on the table. I naturally got everything on the table. Did I have to practice that? Yeah, thousands of times. I got everything on the table. I'm confident. My state doesn't go down. Number 8, I moved on. I'm like, all right, Greg, so here we go. And then Greg just looks at me like, yeah, you're right. Shoot, same thing. And then he moves on. Okay? And then number 9, I say, man, can I get your permission to share a couple ideas with you? If he's not closing, I'm going to say, hey, can I share a couple ideas with you? Would that be okay? Mr. and Mrs. Bobby and Sally were just here. They had the same concern as you, but they did the same research for the last 2 years, and what they found was that this was the best deal in the last 3 years that they could potentially get, and they bought cars while the interest rates were high, back in 2008, back in 2009, back in 2010. We're going through a market correction right now, and everybody sees it. So we, as the professionals, we know that correction is going to come back, and we know that right now is the best time for you to move forward. So give them some ideas, give them some case studies if they don't close up on that. Give them some understanding. But you're a coach, you're coaching them through it. You're not talking at them, you're not using big words they don't understand, you're not trying to appear smarter than them, you're trying to stay in rapport with them. And that's by just making people, do you guys ever feel like some people are trying to be too smart with you, and then it's like they make you just feel stupid, and then you're like, oh, well, that made me feel worse. Your goal is to be an expert, but not like an arrogant expert, okay? So hopefully that part helps. Number 1, we're going to avoid objections. So, it's too expensive. Okay, so let's imagine that Nadine, let's go into objections now. Let's imagine Nadine does couples coaching, right, Nadine? Okay, so let's imagine she does couples coaching. God, man, this one's easier than, this is the easiest one probably all day, because I do couples coaching. I sell the masterminds for Andy and Jackie. And if somebody doesn't want to close up on that, dude, I will I will get you. Because listen, man, what's the most important thing to you? And listen, Nadine, you're gonna have to learn not to be so nice. I can see it in your face where you're just like so nice that you're like, oh yeah, just call me whenever, or like, you want me to take 500 off or $1,000? No, Nadine, if they don't pay, they're not gonna pay attention. And if you believe in the value that you're giving, you have to feel that internally. But a lot of the times, newer coaches, sometimes they're struggling with their own identity, so they're like, oh man, like, you know, I get it, but like, listen, Nadine, this is how you're gonna handle it. Number one, when you're talking to a customer up front, you're gonna say, hey, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, you know, me and Niels, my husband, we value our relationship at the top of anything. The greatest investment that we ever made was becoming the people that we are today together. The number one thing that will hold you back in life, and this is just general information, the number one thing that will hold you back in life is the partner that you're sleeping next to. It's not your business, it's not your sales, it's not your mentality, it's this person right here. So, we're not the cheapest in the market, we're the most effective in the market. Now, you know, buckling down in a couple of areas, like you learning to talk to them direct, you buckling down in a couple of areas to make sure that your family is good forever, that's way more important than any amount of money that you have. Like if you have a credit card that has $5,000 on it or 10 grand, let's imagine that you spent the 5,000 bucks, your marriage changed and your kids saw that, your family saw that, your business saw that, like, or let's imagine it doesn't change and you stay the same. Nadine, let's imagine that you and your husband stay the same. Imagine that. Do you guys want to stay the same? Or do you want a radical improvement on your relationship? Is that what you're looking for? Okay, because we're not looking for everybody. We're looking for the relationships that want radical improvements. And if that's not you, that's okay. You can always come back to me when you're ready. But this is a surefire guarantee that when you do something with us, we are going to make sure that you guys succeed, or we'll work with you till you do. Make a guarantee. Nadine, write that down. Make a guarantee. If you're a newer coaching business, Nadine, you might need to make a guarantee like, hey, listen, so you're just saying that, like, you know, price is a problem. I get it. But more importantly, like what I've learned about you and your husband is you guys want to have the best marriage. You guys want to have these things. A lot of the times when people say price, watch, this is an objection handling, Nadine, this is a word track. A lot of times when people say price, what they're really looking at is the value of what they're gonna get. And here's typically what people find, here's what they find, is they're a little bit nervous, they don't know if they're gonna get what they're paying for. Nadine, I can assure you that you coaching with me, you're gonna get what you pay for, okay? I'm gonna promise. Now I'm gonna make you a guarantee. If you and your husband don't hit whatever benchmark that we set, whatever that is, you and I can set it so it's fair and it's good, then we'll work with you till you do, okay? Because we take this super seriously and we want that with you, okay? Now listen, I'm not like, Nadine, your marriage is important, spend the money. I'm like, listen, Nadine, I get it. And me and my husband thought it was expensive too when we first were going on this journey. But man, I would have paid $1 million if I knew what I knew. If you could see what I see and you could have the eyeballs that I have, and you and your husband both had that, do you know how important that is? I don't know, man. I come from a broken family. You know, I watched my parents split apart and it ruined our entire family, right? So if your parents could stay together and you guys could grow together, that's worth more than money, right? Nadine, I'm talking from the heart, not just the mouth. Nadine, there's an invisible string from their wallet to their heart. And if you have the right product, I'm not going to say pull on that string unless you know you can do what you do. I know when they come down to our couples mastermind, I know when we sit with them, that this is going to change. This is going to get them closer. I've watched couples walk out of our couples mastermind. They were on the verge of divorce, break down in tears, get recommitted. I watched one guy, he was like, I'm not coming to the couples mastermind, and he was an owner on our platform. And I knew the problem was him and his wife. I knew it because I watched how he talked about her and she talked about him. I watched how they were in different rooms, but they would call me on different Zooms. Like, I knew what was going on. And I said, hey, you know, I'm going to call him Greg, but his name wasn't Greg. I said, Greg, we're going to fire you as a client. You know why? Because right now we know something's going on, but you're not being honest with us. And he's like, what? And I'm like, we can sense it. We're very good at what we do. You're required to come to this couples mastermind, and you're required to spend the money. And listen, I have a little bit more authority because I've known him for a long time. But I knew when they came down, something would change. He goes, okay, we'll come. Well, fuck it, we'll come. That's what he said. We'll come. You know, his wife came down, they were all bitter and mad, and they looked all angry next to each other. You could just see the tension, you know. And The reason being is because he had signed the divorce papers 2 days before that Zoom that I was on with him. They're already getting a divorce. And when they came down, they were doing it because they were still going to manage the business together. And when they went home, they got back together. And like now we're like 6 months in, and they're like, dude, we would have gave you our business to feel what we felt today. We just got lost, man. We just got lost. We forgot about a lot of these different things. Being married is a skill. It truly is like a full-blown skill. I just thought you fell in love and like just hung out together and like that'd be cool. Yeah, that's like the first year or two, and then like, you know, then you got to work at it. Then you got to understand different things, you know, right? So if you don't have a marriage coach, like, and you're married, you're probably kind of lacking there. I'm just gonna be honest with you, you know. I know I need it, you know, so I'm thankful I got it. Oh, by the way, I'm Ian, not Evan, in case you want to write me like a good Google review. If you're going to write a bad Google review, just write it to Evan, because I really am Evan. Here, but let me change my name. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, Nadine, does that help you a little bit? Talk with the heart. Nadine, don't be scared to apply a little pressure. Nadine, if you don't apply pressure and they get a divorce and their families get screwed up, what happens to you? Does that not infuriate you? So Nadine, you got to be able to see what's on the other side of that decision for somebody. You have to be able to see what's on the other side of that decision for somebody. You have to be able to paint the picture and say, okay, you know what, guys? Don't invest the money. Stay the same. Stay the same. And if your kids suffer and your business suffers because you guys stayed the same, then you'll be calling me. And you know how many people call me when it's too late? A lot. A lot. You should protect your marriage now. You should protect your life now. And you should do it now. And what should be done today shouldn't be put off till tomorrow. And we should start today. Matter of fact, me and my husband will do a Zoom with you right now. Let's go. Niels, get your ass in here. You know? You got to push people. All right? People need to be pushed. All right. Jimmy, that was kind of a pricing concern. If you want to explain your pricing concern more, I'll handle that. Let me go to the next one. Let's see. I got the same that need to ask the husband. Niha. What do you do? Niha. Where'd you go? Maybe he's not on here. Oh, there she is.
Hi, I'm here.
Hey, what do you got? So what product do you sell?
Yeah, I'm selling fitness services, like fit workout and everything.
What type of services?
Get them to the gym and stuff.
Oh, fitness?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So you're selling like a high, is it like a high ticket package?
Yeah, it's a program. It's a complete program. It has workout, it has nutrition, it has accountability, everything they need to do it for.
I love this one.
Ladies.
All right, good. Niha, listen. I sold health coaching for years, still do today, okay? So listen, when I start the call out, I want to say, hey, listen, I just want to go over a couple of things with you just so I understand you a little bit more. You know, do you have a partner at home? You know, because it's kind of important on your accountability journey if we know what your life looks like. And they're like, yeah, I've got a partner. I'm like, okay, what do they think about fitness? Are they on the fitness journey with you? Oh, no? Okay, listen.
Not right now. Right now.
Yeah, I would say, listen, if they're not on the fitness journey with you, Niha, you could close more deals like this. You could say, listen, this program works for two people. What we found is if a couple does it together, or at least makes the decision together, your success rate is over 90%. Without your couple on board or your partner on board, your success rate could be 20 to 30% less. Because who's cooking your food, who's with you, all of these things are important. We're not after just selling you a program and it not working. That's not what we do. We're after getting you a program and making sure that it works. So whether your partner wants to do this too and go on this health journey, that's good. Or I still want to include them in this decision so they know what you're doing. Could we have this phone call with them as well? Like, could we include them in this decision? Would that be okay? I bring them in. I bring them into the decision. I bring the wife in. And then I get the wife on the phone. I'm like, hey, this is who I am. You know, what we found is husbands typically have 90% more success. Wives typically have 90% more success when the significant other is on the same page as them. We would love for you to join the program, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what your wife is doing. That way, at the end of the day, you guys can make the best decision for you and your family, and most importantly, her. Is that cool? Would that work for you?
No. Actually, the problem is that it's mostly coming from the wife's side, not the men's side.
Swap it.
It mostly comes from the but the thing is they are looking for permission from their husbands. That's the thing. So they have to go back and discuss and get the permission and then come back. So that is like they have a reason to leave right there, that I have to talk to him and he's outside or he's at work, and then I will discuss with him and stuff like that.
Okay, good. Well, naturally in the fitness industry, you're going to have these kinds of objections, but most of them are smoke and mirrors. Most of the women, they can make the decision, Neha. They can make the decision. I assure you, if they know it could work, if I go home, my wife's typically not that upset. So here's an objection. I'm going to give you a word track that you could use for this, okay? And it goes like this. Listen, and it's super simple to understand, but listen, Neha, I know that you and your wife probably had to have some type of conversation about what a fitness program looked like. Like you guys probably talked a little bit about your fitness and talked a little bit about your goals. Is that right? So he probably knows that you're on the phone. He probably wants you to make the decision that's best for your fitness and best for you. Ultimately, you're his queen. He wants you to be happy. Do you believe that our product would work for you? Yes or no? Do you believe it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward. We'll let your husband know what you're doing, and let's go ahead and get it going today, because that's how you can maximize on the special that's happening right now. If you ask your husband and then 5 more people sign up, you might not be able to get this, and I could build some urgency there, but I would confirm that this works for them. I also would let them know that, listen, every wife has probably talked to their husband about their fitness. You know, my wife just had a baby, and she's like, I'm fat, don't post me on Instagram, you know? And then she's signing up for a fitness program today. I already know she is. And she was telling me the other day, she's like, I'm going to do the busy mom method. And I'm like, how much does it cost? She's like, don't worry about it. You spend money on all this other crap, so don't even ask me. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's a good objection. You handle that one. You know, like, dude, your wife, like, the wife is in total control. Like, so if it's a wife and then the husband is handling that, all you got to do is say, listen, Neha, I know that you and your husband probably had a conversation. He just wants to know that if you invest the money, that it's going to work, right? Hey, I got your back. This is going to work. We've determined it fits for you. As long as you'll do the work and show up and you're committed, this is going to be super simple. Is that cool? Can we move forward?
Okay.
And then I move. I don't stay stuck on it. Hey guys, never treat an objection like it's just so true and stay on it for too long. Just handle it and then move. Like it's no big deal. All right, so let's go. Now, how are you going to set your membership up? Boop, 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 boop. And they're like, okay, boop. And then next thing you know, their credit card's out. You know how many times my wife's paid for stuff that she's just like, I don't know if I want to do it. They tell her one thing, she's like, okay, and then she just gives them the credit card. You know, but if you stay on that objection, right? If you stay on that objection, then you'll just make it real. Neha, right? Make the objection unreal. It's unreal. Circle unreal. 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 Your mindset, when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, this is easy. All right, listen. I know that, you know, most husbands and wives talk about things they're getting ready to do. That's just common sense. That's common sense. Guys, put common sense into your objections. And you got to talk like humans. You got to talk like humans. You can't be like, I know you guys had to have a conversation on what the deal needed to look like in order for you to go ahead and purchase this. No, I'm like, guys, I get it. I get it. Have you and your husband talked a little bit about this before? Yeah?
Actually,
cool.
one lady actually drove with her husband, and actually I missed it. I could have actually called him inside and spoke to him.
There you go. Talk to the husband. You know how many times I've gotten on the phone and talked to I'm like, hey, where's your husband at? Let me talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Let's get his ass on the phone.
Yeah.
Me and you are going to close him together. Let's go. Me and you are going to close him together. Okay? All right, Neha, hopefully that helps. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming. We're going to kill it together. Keep listening, because I know some of these objections will help you too more in your mentality. Cool? Okay, so let's see. Tried a lot already. Don't know if coaching is working for us in our relationship. Oh, Nadine just said I'm going to handle this in 3 seconds. You didn't try our program. You tried a different program. You know, you can try all the coaching that you want. You know, you can try, and that's why we're doing what we're doing, and that's why we're doing so well, is because, listen, I got your back. I'm going to do this with you, and this is my guarantee. You just have to be truly different, and you have to have confidence. You have to have confidence. Dude, you know how many people tried a sales training program? You know how many people tried a life coaching program? You know how many people tried to buy a car from somebody else? People are like, I've talked to other car salesmen. I'm like, you haven't talked to me yet, man. Let me tell you why. I'm not just a car salesman. I'm the car salesman. I'm the guy that's going to come out, take good care of your family. I'm the guy that's thinking about these things. I got this frequency, man. I really love what I do. I'm separating myself from everybody. Just separate yourself. And if they ever say that, that's one you want to just hit them right back. Hey, listen, I get it. A lot of people try weight loss programs and different things, and you know what happens is some of them could be good programs, but they might not have the right accountability, they might not have the right this, they might not have the right that. Based on what you've told me, this program's going to fit for you, and I'm going to make sure of it. All right, so Melanie says, I need more time, too expensive. Need more time, too expensive, not enough money. Melanie, need more time, too expensive, not enough money. Melanie, what do you sell?
It's finance.
Finance?
I changed from medicine to finance, yes. No,
Oh.
I'm responsible for their wealth.
Okay, good. So you're selling like financial plans and like IRAs and things like that?
No.
What is it? Tell me.
I help to bring their money in a safe place.
Okay, so you're doing wealth planning.
Something like that, yes.
Okay, if I were to give you $100,000, where are you going to put it?
It depends. What
Okay.
do you want?
I don't know. I want you to protect
Your
it.
goal.
I want you to protect it and make it grow. Where are you gonna take me?
It depends. What's your wish? I mean, I work with Liechtenstein, and everyone knows Liechtenstein is the place for money, for example. So it's 100% safe. The government can't go there and take it. So.
But how many people can sell a Liechtenstein product? Every single one.
Liechtenstein?
Probably a lot. Like there's probably like a lot of financial agents that can celebrate it. All right, here's what I know in finance. I deal with some really good financial brokers. They're the difference. So, you know, if somebody needs more time, it's because they're not sold on you. They got to be sold on you. You got to do things that are different than every single person else in your industry. You know, I have a cousin, his name is Sawyer Monson, and he does a lot of the financing for he does all the financing for the LA group. He does all the financing for a lot of our clients, and he kind of sold me into that, but he does such a great job. I've referred him to everybody. But I remember one of the first clients that I referred to him, I said, hey man, I think that this client would be a good client for you. I looked up and Sawyer was at his office the next day. And I'm like, dude, he lives in Utah, now he's in Florida. And I called him, I said, hey, dude, did you get a meeting with him? He's like, the guy told me he could take a call at 2 o'clock, and I said, hey, it's better, I'll just jump on a plane and I'll be right over there. He signed that client, signed that entire company, whereas I know that if that guy was on the phone with him, he would have never signed that guy. He would have never had that relationship. Always go further than everybody else, and it'll kill the time objection. They need more time. I would say, listen, number one, if it is a real objection and it keeps coming up, I'd say, what makes you need more time? What makes you need more time? Can you elaborate on that for me? Can you elaborate? Is there certain things going on in your life? Like, let me try to understand, you know, how I can better help you. And they're like, yeah, I just got to talk it over with this person. Okay, that could be the real objection. When you say elaborate on it and you're like, tell me a little bit more about that, dig into a little bit more, what they're going to do, Melanie, is they're going to say, oh, you know what, because my finances are with this person, you know, like if you try to hit me with that, I'd be like, and if I said more time, it's probably because I got a relationship here and I'm still in that relationship with that finance guy. So they need more time. I get it, man. You know, these things aren't fast decisions, but can you elaborate on that a little bit more for me? Can you tell me a little bit more about why you need more time based on what we've talked about? And then let them talk. Pause and then let them talk. And it could be a lot of different things. If it's too expensive, you know, you need to look at the value that you're delivering. Whenever I see expense, all I see is value. If they ever say it's too expensive, it's just because the perceived value is not high enough. When the value is high enough, they will close up. You've never bought, I didn't walk into the store and say, oh, I'm gonna buy this watch and it's too expensive. I was like, man, the value exceeds the price, I'm gonna buy the watch. I didn't walk in there and be like, oh my God, that watch is so expensive and it's worth nothing, I'm not gonna buy it. I was like, man, that's a nice watch. You know, it's a good deal. Like, I really want that watch, and the value exceeded the price. When the value exceeds the price, money gets exchanged hands. So maybe you need to articulate your services a little bit better. We call that EOS, articulation of services. If you can articulate it a little bit better, like I'm like, what do you do? And you were like saying something, I'm like, I'm confused. You know, like you got to say, like, you got to know within a 30-second elevator pitch what you do, how good you are at what you do, and what you do better than everybody else without saying you do it better than everybody else. It's super simple. Like if you ask me, hey, what does the Elliott Group do, and I've never met you, I'd say, hey man, I'm pumped that you asked us, man. We're a leadership and sales training company that's running wildfire around the world because we get results when a lot of people don't. A lot of people sign up for something and they don't get pushed to their potential. What we do is we go into the side of companies, we push their salespeople to their potential. We go inside of group sales coachings and we make sure people get new thoughts in their brain so that they can expand and they can go get more. We start with physical, we do mental and business. When you have all three of those components, you have a successful cake and you're ready to grow. Okay, but without one, we believe that you can't have either. So we grow people physically, mentally, and financially. Super simple in their skill. Well, if I told an owner that and he was in the gym, he's gonna be like, oh wow, that's crazy, man. Oh, my people are a little soft right now. Oh yeah, I do need to get in shape. I'm like, yeah, great, man. You know, boom. And then I can close you up. But if I say, what do you do? And you look confused at what you do, or you're not very, it's just because you haven't practiced it a ton. Like you have to practice it 1,000 times. So need more time, might need to dig a little deeper on that. Too expensive, need to create more value. Not enough money. Like if they're saying it's like, maybe what's not enough money mean? Let me help you with that one real quick. What's not enough money mean?
It starts with 1 million.
Okay, so they don't have enough money. So you have to qualify that person. What could you do with somebody that can't qualify for your product? I'd refer them to somebody that could. Like me personally, I refer people all the time to other businesses. If I can't do $1 million, honestly, every company should be able to offer something below $1 million. But let's say like in your world they don't, then I would have a referral network where I could turn somebody a $700,000 deal and they would be turning me $1 million deal. But if they don't have enough money, we have to qualify them better up front. How many salespeople get to the end of a presentation and somebody can't qualify for something? You know, like you have to ask better questions up front. You have to say, hey, you know, and this is a super easy question. Like when we're on the car lot or something, we say, hey, listen, what kind of bank did you finance your car with? What kind of bank did you finance your last car with? And they're like, well, I financed it with Santander. Well, everybody knows that, you know, then he probably has bad credit. Or he's like, I financed it with Westlake. I'm like, what? Hold on. What'd you say? And I don't do that, but I'm like, because I know that that's a subprime bank, you know, and then how many people, Greg, go through a whole presentation and then they're on a Dodge Ram and it's 21% and the payment's $3,000 a month and they can't even qualify for it if they put 10 grand down? Because up front, what they should have said was, hey, listen, I'm going to just make sure that we help you out. I know that you're eager to get on that lot. I know that you're eager to go out here and do those things. Let me help you with a couple things so we don't get lost. Your car out there, who did you last finance that car with? Was it us? No, I financed it with Santander. Okay, red light, red flag. How long ago was that? A year ago. Red flag, we might have negative equity. How much money do you typically put down when you put down? No money, I don't have any money. Boop, 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 boop. It's popping up, guys. I know where I'm going to take them. You know, when I'm talking to a salesperson, I'm like, hey man, how much coaching have you ever invested in? They're like, none. I'm like, okay, no big deal, man. In your business, where do you stack up on the leadership totem pole? Well, I'm last, okay? How long have you been into it? 3 months, okay? This is not a guy that can qualify for a $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 deal. But some people will be like at the end of it, all right, man, it's $5,000. And the guy's like, bro, I haven't made $5,000 in a year. You know, like you've qualified him into a wrong product. You've actually qualified him, lowered the value of your company, and now he's going to exit out and never want to do business with you ever again. You've got to qualify them right in order to eventually do business with them too. All right, let's keep rolling. We got like 15 more minutes. Let me try to handle some of these a little faster. Do you prefer to close when you left the driveway this AM? Greg's just saying something. Let's see, date the rate. Yep, true. Got this. Solar looks ugly on the roof. Austin Hewlett says solar looks ugly on the roof. It'd be in the front of the house. Austin, so you're saying like in solar they get the objection it looks ugly on the roof? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so my brother recently started selling solar and he's an appointment setter, and that's one thing he's got recently is just, oh, I don't think solar would look good on the roof.
I'd say, okay, no big deal, man. No big deal. Hey, you know, is that the only thing that's stopping you? Is that the only thing that's stopping you is the look on the roof? You're cool with the proposal? You're cool with all the money that you would be saving? You're cool with the property value going up?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you'd be cool with all those things because those are all great things. So the only thing that's stopping you is the way that it looks.
Yeah.
Okay, we can handle that, man. Listen, Right now, you're not going to be able to get solar probably, a few months from now, a year from now. The prices are going up, materials are going up. I know one thing, man, I like to save money. I like to have financial independence and financial wealth. Right now, you're just throwing away money, renting your electricity. You're renting your electricity. If you want to own your electricity, well, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have that on your roof. And by the way, everybody loves the way that it looks. 10 years from now, everybody's going to have solar on their roof. So I can understand to you, it might look a little bit different, but also what is your finances going to look like? What's your bank account going to look like? Ultimately, that's what really matters, so we can have more memories with our family and things like that, right? So we could look at what it looks like, or we could look at what your wallet's going to look like. Which one do you want to do? Does that really hold you back? I've never had anybody say that really holds them back from saving all this money and for their property value going up. Never had it happen. They're like, yeah, we're good. I'm like, all right, cool, let's move. All right. In the same situation, financial wealth planning, I'm already working with somebody and I've got, Ben says, I frequently I'm already working with somebody. I've got that all taken care of, but I know we are doing things that no one else in this industry is doing. It's just a case of not knowing what they don't know. Oh, I love this question. All right, so Ben's a financial planner, and Ben gets the standard, and this has got to be the number one objection in financial planning. Because most people, successful people, have a financial planner, and most people have a decent relationship with them, or some of them don't. It takes money out of their account, and they don't know anything about them. Okay, so Ben, what I would say is, hey Ben, listen, you probably have somebody that manages your money. Is that right? Ben's like, yeah. I'm like, what type of relationship do you have with them? Do you talk to them every day? Do you talk to them once a year? What kind of relationship is that? He's like, yeah, I talk to them. They're a good friend of mine. Hey, listen, I'm not telling you to stop doing business with them. What they probably know is really good. It's gotten you to where you're gotten. How happy with them are on a scale of 1 to 10? Probably an 8 or 9 or 10, because most people in my industry do the right thing, right? So you're probably pretty happy with them. Okay, great. In our industry, everybody knows different levels of money management. What I would like to do is just put together a quick little proposal for you, just so you can see all the numbers of what we could do. And then if you want to give it to them, they can do it. Cool. It's just something that they could probably learn. But Ben, you being able to see that proposal and seeing the next level of your money and just seeing what that looks like, that's all I want to show you. And then you can make the decision that's best for you. Maybe you do it, maybe you don't. Maybe it just blows your socks off and you can't believe it like most of my clients. Or maybe you don't. Man, times are changing. Financial planners are in school every single day because there's so many different products out there. Everybody has a different product. Everybody has something different to offer. Whether you do business with me or not, I'd just like to educate you on it, and then you can make the decision. No pressure. Can I just show you? Ben, you got to push through, and you got to create that value. And if I was a financial planner, I'd be giving away a free diagnosis. I'd say, hey, let me give you a free consultation, and this just takes 2 seconds. I need 5 things from you. It's super simple. And then in the end, you can decide. It's your decision. It's no big deal. We're good. Ben, what do you think about that?
I think it's great.
Ben, but what if I say it like this? Oh, well, what do you think about the financial guy, your friend, the person you're with? They're like, dude, listen. And if I'm like, man, let me just give you a free proposal. They're like, dude, listen. I'm like, Ben, listen, dude, I got it, man. I know, man, most people have somebody that they're doing business with. Our industry is changing, man. It is changing fast. We are in school. There's so much going on. What I found is sometimes somebody knows something, but there's some people that know more. I'm after the people that know more. So what I like to do is just break something down with you, send it over to you, and then you decide if it blows your socks off or not. Simple. But Ben, you got to feel that in your heart. But what were you going to say?
No, that's actually very similar to what we do. Is we'll do a lot of free planning and say, take this to your other person if you want to, because that's really where we set ourselves apart, is actually our planning analysis. Because a lot of people have tools in place, I got 401k, I got IRA, I got life insurance, I got all this stuff, and it's I don't care if you have all the tools, it's how did you structure the tools to be most efficient for you. And so that's just getting people to understand that thought process that they haven't thought of before.
Yep. How long have you been doing it, Ben?
So I'm actually a career changer, so I just started in February. But the unique thing so I'm with Northwestern Mutual, and anyone who knows Northwestern Mutual knows that the majority of the top 30 advisors in the industry are NM advisors, and so we have the ability to do joint work too, which is there's no case too big, too small, or anything, because I can bring in the names like John Folkert, Steve Lowe, Keith Wagner, like some of these biggest names industry-wide, I can have them on a case if the case is suitable for them, right? So there's an endless amount of knowledge and opportunity that I have access to.
Well, I'll tell you this, that stuff's all super, super important, but what's even more important is you. Like, listen, man, I put a lot of money, our company put a lot of money with a guy in Northwestern Mutual. You should go learn from him. His name is Sawyer Monson. I'd write that down, and I would send him a DM, and I'd say, hey, man, I learned about you guys from the Macklin twins, and like, how did you land? I mean, this dude was the #1 agent in Northwestern Mutual. He's a badass. Like, he was making more outbound calls than like an entire, this dude was calling 500-600 people a day, dude. Like, he's crazy, and he did that for years, but he opened up his own little deal. I don't know what you guys call that underneath the people, but here's what I found, dude. People buy you. They don't just buy all the people that they can get access to. They buy you, how you show up for them, man. Like, this guy, Sawyer's so creative the way that he thinks like me. He will get in the car and go down where you're at. He will show up. Dude, if you're doing an event, dude, him and his team flew down here. They were cleaning up our event, doing all. They never even signed us up. They showed so much value in advance. As a wealth planner, you got to show value in advance, interest in what they're doing, interest in their business. Let's say you get a real estate agent. Dude, you should be finding out what open houses they're doing and volunteer to do the open house with them. Hey, I'll shake the sign outside, man. I'll do whatever it takes. Let's go. We're growing your business. They're like, nah, I don't need that. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Hey, where's the sign at? And I go out there and I'm shaking the sign, man. I'm moving. I'm grooving. I'm doing the damn thing. So many people are like, what's in it for me? I want to sign this client. I want to do this. Dude, everybody's a Northwestern Mutual. They got 28,000 agents. You know, what separates you is your ability to give, not just take, your ability to show up for somebody, you know, your ability to create these relationships, your ability to look at, you know, like who you're selling to and what's important to them and like deciding what that is. Like Sawyer, he knows like, all right, I got a wife and kids. He would send my kids little presents and like not even expensive stuff, just like little cool little things like, and they would be like, oh my gosh, oh, this is great. And then we'd send it to him, tag him on Instagram, and he just would build these different relationships, right? And you know, his buddy Kyle, like, and this takes more money, right? I sent him a solar company. And I said, hey man, this solar company would be great for you. You really need to teach these solar kids how to manage their money. They're all making a lot of money. A lot of people are going after these guys that are 30, 40 years in the business. I'm like, dude, why don't you go after the company owners that are 5, 10 years in the business and then build with them? Well, this company's got 100 employees. Kyle, his partner, calls the owner and says, hey man, you know, you guys are in New York. The F1 race is like 2 hours from you guys. I bought you guys plane tickets. Let's go to the F1 race in Canada. He flies him to Canada. He gets one of these little VIP trips that costs like $1,500 and flies him in on a helicopter. They're like, dude, this guy, they're texting me like, this guy's crazy, man. I love this shit. You know, dude, he signed their whole company, dude. Hell, their whole company. And he was cleaning the shitters in our bathrooms here, just showing us love, just showing up for us. Dude, they came down here and rented an Airbnb and we're meeting with our clients, just giving them free information. They're like, hey, whoever wants to stay at this Airbnb in our Facebook group, we're gonna buy it, and all we ask is that you just, you know, that we show you a little couple of wealth things. Dude, like, a bunch of broke kids signed up. They didn't care. They're like, hey, we're gonna teach everybody, man. We're gonna teach everybody. We don't care who it is. Every relationship can get you far. Every person knows somebody. Every person matters. And if you really believe that and you really treat people like that, then man, you'll never have a blank pipeline. And if you really show up for people and if you're really not just the guy that bangs the phones like, gah, gah, like I get that. I'm all about that. But I'm also like, where's this guy at? What's this guy doing? All right, I'm going to him. And then I just go. I'm like, all right, what's this guy doing? Go to him. I had a salesperson, Maria. She comes up to me the other day and she's like, hey, I got this client. She's telling me all about him. I'm like, all right, well, she's like, I'm getting ready to do a Zoom with him. I'm like, where's he at? And she's like, he's in Tucson. I'm like, that's 2 hours away. Get your ass in your car. She's like, what? That's not that efficient in time. I'm like, I almost broke the damn computer. I go, it's the most efficient in time. Cancel your day. This is a big deal. This is a big relationship. Go down there. You know what happened when she went down there? She closed her biggest deal of her entire life. You know why? And the guy's like, I can't believe that you just dropped everything and came down to me. I can't believe you dropped everything and came down to me. You know what she showed up with? Actually, this is really cool. His kid just became a driver at 16, right? She showed up with a little roadside kit, these little hair ties for girls so you could like tie your hair up because you got to like put out the stuff. I didn't even know that was a thing in these kits. The little electric things that you put behind your car like that the police have and everything. And she showed up with a kit for the kid and was like, hey, this is for your first car. The kid's like, oh, thank you. Just nice stuff, man. Just like if you show up for people like that, it will kill the objection. If you get a lot of the same objections every time, it's just because you're not operating like this. You know, like you're not operating. I told Franz on a one-on-one call with him, he's like, man, how should I get one of these restaurants to buy my camera shit? What was that, Franz? The reel, like he produces reels and social media for them. He goes, how do I get accounts? I go, here's how you do it, man. It's how we all did it when we first started. Go over to a restaurant, shoot a badass piece of content for them. It's so easy to get a restaurant to go viral off of the way that the food looks and everything. You won't have one objection. All you do is go shoot one sick ass reel of what you do, Franz, and then go show the owner, go give it to him and say, hey, here's what I do. You guys don't do this on your page. Here's a competitive market analysis. These are your two competitors. They're doing Instagram and they're doing way better than you. Your boy can fix that. And here's what I'm going to give to you. Give me a call when you check it out. They go look at it. They look at the competitive analysis and they're like, oh shit, we suck. Let's call that guy. That was nice that he did that. It's just you build trust by doing more for people. You know what I mean? So think about that. I'm always trying to go the next level. You know, in Nadine's business, if she's talking to a couple and they haven't closed up, I'll go over to their damn house, you know, I'll figure out really what moves them. I'll figure out how to get really creative with them. And I think the most creative salespeople win. You know, like you truly, if you're the most creative salesperson on here, you always win. So, couple of things. We handled a couple little objections. I want you to write this down. I want you to write down your 5 top objections. 5 top objections. I need to think about it. I need to, whatever it is, I want you to write down your 5 top objections, okay? And I want you to master those 5. Now, here's why I want you to master these 5. Because, see, I don't have to think about it because I've handled 900 objections from 900 industries, so they're all the same to me. They're all intermingled in my brain. All right, if Greg came off mute and he's like, hey, Ian, what's the best price in the car lot? Or like Greg said, hey, I want to go compare 2 more. I'd say, hey, Greg, listen, man, I totally understand. Let's say you went and compared 2 of them, 3 of them, or 5 of them, and my 2018 Nissan Altima was the last one you took a look at. Look, in the end, what would be the deciding factor on the vehicle that you'd end up going with? Would it be the car itself, regardless of the decision, or would it be the great deal that the dealership's willing to give you? Which one? Greg, which one would it be? He'd say the car or the deal, and then I have something for that. I'd say, so listen, if you went and got that car, because you're saying it was the car, and it was $5,000 more than you want to pay, would you pay it? And then I let him talk. I pause. Greg says, no, I wouldn't pay it. I go, so it would be the deal. I could tell that you like the car. Let's go inside, and I'm going to be able to show you exactly how all that works, and then we'll get you handled. Super simple, right? But how many salespeople don't do that because they don't know how to intermingle these objections. So their brain, they get hit with the objection and they fall flatline. Now watch, I would never handle an objection like that, by the way, because that's not, write this down, internalize, memorize, customize, okay? If Greg hit me with that car sales objection, the word track is, hey, let's say you went and looked at 2 of them, 5 of them, or 10 of them. My 2018 Nissan Altima was the last one you took like. Look, in the end, what would be the deciding factor of the vehicle you'd end up purchasing? Would it be the car itself, regardless of the deal, or the great deal the dealership's willing to give you? Which one? They choose. I'm like, great, man. So it's not a matter of if you're going to buy, it's just when was the deal's right? Boom, and I move them inside. That's an objection. I know it, like the back of my hand. I'm a robot, okay? When I'm with the customer, I'm going to say, hey, Greg, listen, I got it, man. This is important. It's a big decision for you and your family. Look, Greg, let's say you went and saw 2 of them. Like, let's just hypothetically say you went and saw 2 of them, and they were the same one as this one. Look, Greg, what would it come down to? Would it come down to the car itself, regardless of the deal, or would it come down to the deal that the dealership's willing to give you? Which one do you think it would come down to, Greg? Would it come down to the car? Would it come down to the deal? Would it come down to both? Greg's like, it'd come down to both. I got to get the car and the deal. I'm like, great, Greg, and I know that you love this car, right? And he's like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, perfect, because I know I'm a pro and I landed him on the right car. I'm like, perfect. So Greg, before you go and look at those ones, I like to give you a quick 5-minute proposal of all the facts and figures so that you can make the best deal for you and your family. But Greg, Greg, it's also not just about the price. It's about all the elements of the deal. The interest rate, the trade-in, the service, all of it, Greg. I just want to show that to you so you can make the best decision for you and your family. Could I do that for you? Yeah. Boom! Taking his ass inside and shutting his ass down, okay? But most people, because they don't memorize 5 objections, their brain just gets confused and they stop. Right now, write down 5. Write down 5 objections. Go to the vault in the Sales Warrior Playbook, find an objection that is close to your industry. Pull out a couple of words, simplify it, put it right on a piece of paper. And put, this is my objection. I like this one. I like the way I wrote it. You can send it to me. I'll review it. Whatever. You're going to write down the 5. You're going to review your top 5 objections. You're going to write, if you're a winner like me, you're going to write that one objection 50 times. Did you guys see how I said that objection faster than shit? You're going to write it 100 times, that one objection. Now, when the customer hits you with it, you're not going to say what's on that paper. You're going to free flow it. It's going to come from your heart. You're going to know it. Your state isn't going to get low. Your eyes aren't going to drop. You're not going to sound triggered. You're going to be like, boom. And they're going to be like, damn, what was that? And then you're going to be like, oh shit, this shit works. But listen, you know why people say my program don't work? Because they don't want to do this. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work. If you did the work, the magic that you're looking for is in the work that you don't want to do. I just gave you a play. If you write down 5 objections and go to the Sales Warrior Playbook in the vault, and you put those objections together on the page, then it's going to change your entire life. Your words are going to flow like water. You're not going to be confused, and you're going to absolutely crush it. You're going to break through. You're going to make more money. You're going to be more on fire. You guys ever feel like you're progressing in something and you just feel like a better human? That's what this is going to do. If you know 5 of them in your brain, you're like boom, 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 boom. If you focus on the relationships, like I just said, all of you should make more money. All of you. Like this Zoom call should be a Zoom call that makes you an extra 10, 15, 20, 30 grand a month, whatever it is, 5 grand, 2 grand. It should make you more money if you're running the play that I'm giving you. But listen, you guys know Aaron Williamson. He's going to be doing a call with you guys on health. He's a professional athlete. He knows exactly how to scale your body. If you run his play, but then at nighttime you're working out, but then at nighttime you eat Cheetos, is that in his play? No. So you can't go blame Aaron Williamson when you ate a bunch of damn Cheetos and shit. You're snacking at nighttime and like, the program don't work. Bitch, you don't work. Okay? You got to work. You got to do the play. So here's the play. Relationships kill objections. We will be the best at building relationships in the school community, hands down, at any salespeople in the world. Our goal is to build relationships, build value, take people's souls, show people we care. Most people don't care in the world anymore. We're going to outcare our competition. We're going to go deploy this into the earth, and money is just going to start to flow to us if you're on fire and building these relationships. Okay? Swear to God. Okay? Secondly, with objections, we're going to memorize the top 5. We will not be the salespeople that get on a Zoom in front of Andy in 2 months and not know what to do. He's going to start battle testing you on your top 5 objections. And I'm going to know what your 5 objections are, and I'm going to say, all right, hit Greg with this one. If you can't handle the top 5 objections, we're going to kick your ass out of the community because we want to be around people that are learning and growing. And your $97 ain't going that far, okay? We appreciate you, we love you, but we want to be around people that want to do the work, like want to win, all right? So let's go win. You got some work to do. You got some things to think about. Get them in your brain. Have some fun today. Be excited today. You know, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. You got the right chance right now. What are you going to do about it? Do you see it? Is there gold in your business? Can you find the gold in your business? Can you be excited today, man? Can you go get off the phone and message 3 people? You don't want to know what I like to do? Get off the phone and message 3 people how grateful you are for them. Message 3 people. Hey, man, Ben, I'm super grateful for you. Thank you for being on the call, man. Appreciate you growing. Appreciate you learning. Appreciate your eyes being on fire. You know, like, get off the call and message 3 people today. Give them some gratitude. Give them some love. Invite some people to our school community, guys. Bring them on over. Say, hey, your ass needs to be in there. You know, get in here. Let's grow together. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good job, bro.
Hey, that's a